Today we're starting off our 2022 season, street scene season, here at the IX Center in Cleveland, Ohio, in the Piston Powered Show.
You couldn't ask for a better show. I'm going to warn you now, there's way too much to show. You have to actually come up to this show, so if you haven't come up this year, you know, if you didn't come up, plan on it next year, because we've only touched on 1/10 of the cars that are here, and they're nice.
No, they're beautiful. Some of them, I'll tell you, just the hairs on the back of my head were sticking up. I'll tell you.
What we're hoping to do is, we know there's at least one Riddler car here. The Riddler winner at Detroit is here. We're going to try to get an interview with him, and we'll see what else comes up too. So keep watching.
You got that right. What do you think? I'm tired of talking to you right now. Let's go inside and check it out. I have the show manager of the IX Center, the Piston Powered Show, Steve Lukerski. How's it going?
Great, Rick. Happy to be here, man.
What a show. What a show, huh?
Oh, my God. After the 2020 shutdown, we're happy to be here. So, you know, the doors just opened. There's a lot of people outside, and I heard the lines all the way backed up to the airport already. So, yeah, there's a lot of people coming in. So, yeah, we got a big show here.
How many cars you think you have here?
Well, we have 608 cars in competition, but we have probably another additional, probably 400 vehicles on the floor. In addition to that, we probably got 1,000 vehicles out there.
Wow. How do you get your car registered to come here to compete?
Well, you had to do it a long time ago and stuff, right? So you had to.
How about for next year?
Well, next year we're going to start taking applications June the 6th for the 2023 show, which happens the week before Easter. So yeah, it's a whole process to get your car in this show, and it's just, you know, I tell people it's an application, it's not a reservation. So, right, you got to apply to this show to get in.
Can we get on the internet and get in?
You'll be able to go to pistonpowershow.com June the 6th, and we'll have the motorcycle application. We'll have an application for the Hot Rod Asylum and the main floor application.
It's good. What a show. We love it. We love it.
I'm glad you guys came up here. Yeah, the show's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so we're so excited to be back. You know, and it's just not about cars here at this show. I mean, you guys walked around. There's motorcycles. There's construction equipment. There's military vehicles, right? A Piston makes it go. It's in this show, and it's here in Cleveland right now.
And you got 2 Riddler Award winners here today.
We do. And in addition to that, I don't know if you guys saw that big silver Packard that's back there.
Oh, yeah.
That 1,500 horsepower, 12-cylinder machine.
Yeah.
That's one of 3 in the world. So we've got it here in Cleveland. We got it right here at the Summit Racing Equipment IX Piston Powered Autorama.
I think you need a bus license to drive that thing. That thing's huge.
I know. When they pulled it in here, my God, that thing weighed, I don't know what it weighed, but it looked like it took a lot of guys to get that thing off the truck.
V12 Packard engine in it.
Oh man, can you imagine what that thing weighs?
Yeah, what did it sound like?
He didn't start it.
Oh, he didn't
No, he didn't start it up. 1,500 horsepower. I can imagine what that thing would have sounded like.
Steve, thanks for the invitation here.
Hey.
We had a wonderful time.
Well, it was fun being here with you guys today, and it was fun being on your show with you too. So we'll do it again next year.
Thank you much, bud.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. With me, I have George Millsop from Brunswick, Ohio,
Brunswick, Ohio.
which isn't too far from here, huh?
No, it's about 10 miles, I suppose, 10, 12 miles.
Okay, so did you drive her here?
Oh, I drove it here, yeah.
This is a beauty. What is that? 49?
39
Lincoln Zephyr.
I've been in snowstorms with it. Going to a show, but I don't have a trailer, so I have to drive it home. So I have to drive it home in the snow. Like I say, this fender was wrecked, though, about 15 years ago. You ever heard of Crawford Auto Museum in Cleveland?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, it was on display for 6 months in the rotunda.
So how long have you owned this now?
26 years.
What have you done to her?
Everything. It was a barn find. We had to build the bottom of the doors. The fenders were. It was just the doors were bad, basically, and we had to put a floor in it. And we, did the engine. It had a V12 in it, but it was seized
stock.
up. Yeah, V12. Yeah, it was all stock stuff. And I drive my cars, and there's no point in putting a V12 back in it because the flatheads had dual water pumps. Well, I've been out to Oklahoma with this. You run out of, if you get a water pump that goes back on a V12 out in Oklahoma,
Yeah, where are you gonna find one?
good luck.
Yeah. What do you have in there now?
This is a small block Chevy 350 trans.
Nice comfortable engine.
Yeah, it's and you can get parts readily available if something goes bad. And the Mustang 2 front end, so if a bearing goes bad, I can find that at a auto parts store. Everything's made to where I don't have the exotic stuff to where I have to wait to get something. It's all built, so we can drive it, which I drive this a lot.
So this is an older restoration. When did you do it?
90, well, I bought it in 96. 98 is when I painted it. So it was finished in 98. It went out in 99 because the upholstery wasn't quite done yet. But the body itself was painted in 96.
What color is this?
This is Cadillac Diamond White Pearl.
It's pretty. It pops. Pops under these lights.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it sticks out.
Let's look at the interior. I didn't get the chance to look at the interior yet. Tell me about the interior.
Well, the interior, that's an 86 Grand Am console. I made part of it. And that's the stock dash, except for it had the a round pod like that. And I couldn't find one, so I built that. Now, I've had this show here before. You know Chip Foose, obviously.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Well, he signed the dash.
Oh, okay.
And that's Jay Leno.
Oh, yikes.
And on the other side is Ryan Evans from Counts Customs.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And we got him in the car, signing it, and my wife and I taking pictures. We got pictures at home. But it's got a dual glove box. For why, I don't know why I had that. I don't use that side because that's where my electrical stuff is, the fuse panel. So it's it don't open, but this one does, First time out, I was going down to run the hubcap off and scraped the bottom of the car.
Oh, jeez.
Says, okay, so I got that to stay on. Next thing, I come to the red light, the tire goes down. The hubcap spun and sheared off the valve stem. So I got steel valve stems on it now. So those
doesn't happen again.
They've been on there since '99. And I bought the tires and rims at a Canfield when I bought the seats. So those tires, and that's 26 years old, 25 at least. But it's 57 Dodge Lancer hubcaps.
Oh, those are Dodge Lancer
Dodge
hubcap.
Lancer.
Usually guys put like Cadillac hubcaps on
Yeah,
there or something like that.
Yep.
Those are pretty nice looking though.
It's kind of wearing off, but that's 24 karat gold on the hubcaps. And I made, we made the bumpers. I got the bullets on for the Nerf bars.
So if you're missing hubcaps today, you'll know Greg and I took them. We'll cash it in for the gold.
But I'm a big thing about dice. All my car, even my regular driver cars have dice. You know, this ain't my only car. I got a '56 Olds at home that I've had for 46 years.
Wow.
It's an old custom. Now those are mini Zephyrs. The real full size, they're a little bit bigger and they kind of stick out. But I wanted to French it in.
You do your work yourself?
Oh yeah.
It's good. It's good.
And in the trunk, you know, in a one-car garage. And I asked the guy. I found out later his wife said she's going to restore it. I said, well, he better hurry up because there was nothing. The garage is about ready to fall down. So he called me about a week later. He said, make me an offer I can't refuse. I said, well, I don't want to throw a number at you and you're going to, get offended with the price I give you. He said, you tell me. He said, well, I'd at least like to get $500 out of it. I was there in a half hour.
Oh, yeah, that's what he said, $500.
I would have given him $4,000 for the car.
Yikes. You're lucky you kept your mouth shut.
I was a young kid. I found one of these original stuff, though. And I didn't see one for a long time. And in '95, I went to the Good Guys in Columbus. And there was another one there. And then this one come up. And for $500, I mean...
They do these in glass right now, fiberglass. Yeah, a lot of them are like that. Yeah.
But they're using Thunderbird, or Honda windshields. They're...
This one looks pretty much stock. Couple little things done to it. Looks good.
Yeah, well, basically what I done was I made the Nerf bars, I Frenched the tail light in. That's my little... I had a 44 coupe that had a little tail on there. That's kind of my thing,
Took the handle off the back.
Yeah. It's it's powered by the
different bumpers. Yeah.
Yep. The bumpers were one of them was bent. I'll leave it up. And so it's just a custom thing with the Nerf bar bumpers.
Looks good. Looks good.
You got the magnet pulls out the back, and it's a cruiser. It's not fast. It's just a 350.
Good looking cruiser. You're probably getting a lot of thumbs up going down the highway, huh?
Yeah. I'm proud of it because my son and I and a friend of mine, we did it.
With me, I have Paul Drennan from Rose
Rod and Custom.
Rod and Custom out of Akron, Ohio.
Yep.
And we're standing in front of a 61 Cadillac Eldorado, which is absolutely gorgeous.
Hours and hours of restoration.
So this basically is a stock rebuild.
Yep.
And everything, even you have ostrich interior, you told me?
Yep, that was an option in 61.
Wow. And the color, what color is that?
It's topaz.
How was this car when you guys got it?
It was a complete running car, and then we tore it apart, and you find your little gremlins here and there for body work over the years. There's a little bit of sheet metal work in it.
This is very nice. This is a beauty. It's got the hydraulic transmission, power seats, windows, vents.
All the bells and whistles in 61.
It's the Barrettes too, which is
Yep.
And the hubcaps. Look at those hubcaps.
Yeah, there's hours in restoring those.
What were they like when you got them?
They were pretty nice, but our stainless guy, they'll metal polishing. He
Out of Hubbard.
yeah.
Yeah,
He did all the stainless trim on this. Bruce Dell did.
Yeah, we know Bruce.
He's excellent.
He's a friend of the show. Yeah, he's very good. Yes, he is. This is a beautiful car. What color top?
It's white top.
Ah, that's perfect.
It goes good with the white walls.
That's perfect. Yeah, yes, sir. This is just such a gorgeous car. Everything is. Did he do the grill at all too?
Yeah, Bruce did all the polishing on that and sent it out to have it anodized again.
Looks good. Looks good. You got this whole row of cars here.
Yes, we do. Been a long weekend so far.
Just parking them.
It's just starting.
You guys, are these just customer cars?
Yes, they're all customer cars.
Okay. And what do you do at the company?
Assembly, disassembly, a little bit of everything.
It's fun working around cars like this, huh?
Oh yeah, it's not work when you love what you do.
Right, you got that right. Yeah, I was just looking at that Shelby GT there. That's a
We built that car in 11 months.
What was that like?
That was a fun build. It's on an Art Morrison chassis, independent rear suspension, Coyote drivetrain, one-off custom wheels, a lot of little subtle things to it.
That's good. You guys do nice work. Very nice work.
Thank you.
Thanks for showing us your car.
Yeah.
We're talking with Kevin Leonard from Wooster, Ohio today with his 74 AMX. Javelin AMX. Is that still have that?
AMX.
They call it Javelin AMX?
Yes, so
okay.
The AMX was the performance package of the Javelin from 71 to 74.
And what's AMX mean?
Let's see here. Basically, it's experimental is what they originally started. American Motors Experimental.
They did a bunch of these, though. Didn't they have like AMX 1 and 2 and 3 and 4?
Well, they started out, they had the original AMX from 68 to 70, which was the two-seater. And then 71 to 74, it became the performance package of the Javelin, and they had one body style. But then they had the AMX 3, which I want to say there was only 6 ever produced. And they're really out in the world right now of them. They found most of them, and they're slowly being restored.
Yeah, those are probably worth a couple bucks, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a beauty here. She wasn't bad when you got it, right?
Oh, it was. Most people would have just scrapped it when I got it, and I made a promise to the owner that I would restore it, and it took 4 long years and a lot of trial and error and a lot of patience, and yeah, I love how she turned out now.
What color was it?
It was originally black.
Black with a...
It had a black with a tan vinyl top on it originally.
We saw the photos of that, and there was nothing left at the top, huh?
Yeah, the roof was rotted off of it, had some trunk rust in it, and so I had replaced the whole roof structure and roof skin from the factory welds and replaced the quarter panels and new trunk. Had the interior redone, rebuilt the original motor. She's got a Tremec 5-speed in her now, was originally a 4-speed car.
Good. Who painted it for you?
My buddy Carl Coons. He's a really good body guy. He had helped advise me everything with all the sheet metal work and that. This was done in my home shop.
Yeah, these things are real big rust buckets. When that's why there's not many of them around right now. At least up here in the north. Anyway.
Yeah, a lot of. I mean, people drove them back then. They weren't. Now we look at them and it's like, oh man, that needs. It's a muscle car to us now, but back then it was a family car. It was a midsize. That's why they went with the back seat, and from 71 to 74 because they needed families to ride around. So it, turned in from a family car to a muscle car today.
Where'd you find this one at?
This was found in Lakeville, Ohio.
Lakeville, Ohio. It was a mess, huh?
Yes, it was.
Okay, but thanks for showing us your car. It looks beautiful.
Well, thank you.
With me, I have Doug Siebold from Westlake, Ohio, in his stock 41 Buick. No?
Slightly modified.
Slightly
yeah.
modified?
In parts. Okay.
This
yeah.
is a really interesting car, too.
Thank you. It was an idea that came up with Mike Doble, Vice President of Buick Motor Division, back in 1998.
Okay.
He wanted to celebrate Buick's centennial anniversary in 2003 with a special built Buick that encompassed all the old beauty of Buicks from like the Y job back in 38 all the way through the current time. And to do that, to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Buick, he came up with Steve Pastiner, who designed this beauty, if you will.
It is a beauty. It's a beauty.
And with that, when we started making the car, we took a 41 Buick that I had and took the top off, then took 8 inches out of the mid of the car, that's sectioning, and then took the rockers off, then took the 39 front end, married it to the 41 front end, then took the 41 rear end, changed it to a 47 to 48 rear quarters and put on 41 fenders to that with a 47 deck lid. And this is the only one-piece retractable hardtop in the world.
You're kidding.
Nope.
I was going to ask you if there was a hardtop to it.
There is. It goes back. It's retractable. Goes underneath the back, and I'll show you a picture of it.
How about the windshield?
Oh, the windshield's off a 96 Buick Riviera, and we modified the interior from a 96 Riviera to fit into the whole setup here, including the dash. And when we got things put together, we went and put the steering in from a Corvette and stuff like that for the front suspension. Then the engine, as I said, is a 1970 Buick Stage 3, which they didn't make a Stage 3 in 1970, but we took the 455 and modified it to give it like 450 horse, and then from there put fuel injection on it and made it all special to the Corvette transmission and rear end. Then the wheels on it are special wheels built by Artcraft, and they're on with the special tires, and the 39 39 fender lights on the front are stock. The headlights, though, are hidden, and they pop up when you turn the
They're
headlight.
stock too?
No. Nope. That's all modified to match. But 39 Accent was the fender lights for turn signals. First year for turn signals, put on standard by Buick for any American car, and the 39 grill. And then we molded the side view mirrors into the header there for the windshield, and then went back to make the rest of it come together.
Who did all the work?
We worked up in Auburn Hills at Advanced Automotive with Steve Pastiner and Mike Doble from Vice President Buick Motor Vision. This is back in 98, 99. There was roughly 20,000 hours in 12 months.
Wow.
Okay. This thing at the starting line, at the drag strip, they had the timing tower above the starting line, so it's like a big tower that goes over and the strip. And when we got the car up there, I told the guys, okay, we're going to smoke the tires. This is high noon. We smoked the tires so large that the cloud of white smoke from the tires clouded out. You could not see the timing tower. And the people were cheering, and then we put this up against one of the other cars we brought and ran it down. We had a yellow coupe we ran against this one. And it looked so good on the drag strip, and it was in a lot of the magazines, Auto Week and everything else. So, but
She's a beauty.
Yeah,
She's a beauty. This is a piece of art, all the stuff you do to it. My God.
we love this. I'll tell you what, I'd do this 24 hours a day if I could figure a way to keep my eyelids open. Okay?
How about the hood on this? I see the hood. Is that the stock hood?
Stock hood all the way, including this right here, which dives in. The 41 hood comes down to the 39 nose, dials into 39, and has this ridge, and we put the ridge in right up to here. And then this is the original Buick 8 emblems for a 39, the Buick Grills on the front, and the Buick fender lights for the front.
And you have this title that's what, a 41?
41 Buick, yeah.
41 Buick.
41 Buick that we started with.
And it's a four-seater.
Yeah.
I thought it was a two-seater. I'm looking, I go, this is a four-seater. I don't know if you can put anything back there.
Oh, yeah, well, you can, as long as they're young, yeah. And yeah, you can put people in the back. We did it like that, and that's almost the same size they had in 1996 when the Rivieras were coming out. So we just used that Riviera interior and made it into the buttercream color that you see, and dialed in everything else from there.
She's a beauty.
Yeah.
She's a beauty.
Oh, we love it, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
we
I'll
have so
tell
much
ya.
fun. This car has been around the country a couple times, and it's been up in Canada and down Mexico and the like.
It looks like a modern-day car.
It does.
It's
Yep.
got that nice look to it, nice streamlined look to it and everything. It's a beauty.
Well,
what color is she?
This is black cherry.
Oh, it's black. Black cherry.
Black cherry special mix that we made from PPG. They came out, they gave us all the details that we wanted, and we put it together with them. They helped us out back in the 90s with this, and this car has been on the road ever since, but it still has stood up quite well. So.
She's a beauty.
Yep, we love it. We can't tell you how much we have a good time in it. The minute you start this thing up, it's just like stand next to the best car in the world, I'll tell you. And then you're going to jump in and drive it. You can't wait to get around the next corner and then step on it and go. I'll tell you.
Sounds good. Thank
Yeah.
you for showing us
My
your car.
pleasure.
What a beauty.
Thank
How
you.
long have you owned her?
2 months.
2 months. Okay. Sounds good.
And the reason, I'll tell you that, what happened is GM was going bankrupt in 09. It was built for GM, Buick Motor Vision. They put this up for auction in Phoenix, Arizona, at Barrett Jackson. I went up there to get it. At that point, my wife tapped me on the shoulder and says, "You're going to stop at $250,000. It finally went up to about 600,000.
And she was with you behind it the whole way?
I dropped out. Somebody else got it. They got it when they put it in their collection. They then got rid of it about 5 years later, and then 5 years later after that, it came up for auction, which was just last December. And I went over there. I says, "We're getting it. That's it." So we got it. Here it is. So,
Did you get it cheaper?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. You say some money.
About $5 cheaper.
Oh, jeez. With me, I have Justin Nichols. You might recognize this mug from Wrenched on Motor Trend. How's it going?
Good, man. We're just having a ball here in Ohio, and yeah.
Where are you guys out of? Where's your shop out of?
We're south of Chicago, about an hour and a half, Watsika, Illinois.
Watsika, Illinois. Sounds good. And what are we sporting here today? This is a beauty.
Thank you. So we originally built this 32 Ford Roadster pickup for Detroit. We didn't get our wheels in time, so we couldn't make it. But we're here. This is the second time showing it.
So that means you can't show this. That you can't go for the Riddler award.
Nope,
right?
nope. It's done. The first set of wheels we got last year were wrong too. So we just need to get it out there and get it seen. This idea has been in my head since high school. It's just time to get it out and let people see it.
Move on to something else, huh?
Yeah, move on.
Let's talk over here. This twin turbos. That's really neat how you did that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't even realize that it's turbocharged. I'm a very traditional hot rod guy, custom guy. You know, if you lay it on the ground with fender skirts, or it's just a cool old hot rod, that's what I'm about. So I didn't want to change the way a 32 Ford looked. The grill is still stock, minus a Alumacraft grill insert. So the center 6 inches is the intercooler. The outside is a radiator, so that's why you see all these tubes going everywhere. That's for crossing over. I wanted to hide the headlight or the turbos in the headlights. That's been in my head forever, so we made that happen. The exhaust comes out the back. You know, 5-10 feet away, looks like a traditional hot rod. You know.
It does. These are special though. These turbos. They got headlights in them.
Yeah. Yep. So it's a Nelson mirror image turbo. They're symmetrical. So it's really hard to notice them. But yeah, we manufactured this model out of plastic. We 3D printed it a few times. We got it perfect, and then we sent it off. Alumacraft cut these out of steel or aluminum. Sorry. It's a 5-piece setup. So there's 5 pieces there that go together to go around the turbo. So.
And you got a Coyote engine in this?
Yeah. It's a modern Coyote 5.0. You can't really tell. We cut all the casting marks out. We sanded on that thing for days. Custom valve covers. Everything's hidden under there for wiring. We built little covers here and there to hide. There's just so many wires on these things.
Yeah, you can't see any of them.
No.
They're all hidden, yeah. Looks good. Got disc brakes on here?
Yes, so these are Johnson brake kit. There's disc brakes inside of those, the old Finn style. So it's a very drivable truck still, you know. Obviously, we got plenty of power, but we can stop it too. No, I don't know yet. I don't know. We haven't cranked it up yet, but I don't think it'd be impossible to get 1,000 out of it. But
Wow.
not gonna do much with them tires. But
No, it looks good though.
Thanks.
That's what you're all about today, right?
Yep.
I love the windshield on this too.
Thank you.
Really gives it a good look.
Mike.
What color is this?
So this is a color that we came up with at the shop. I started with the Destroyer Gray from Mopar. I just threw a few different colors on it, and we got a color. We got a color we call blown head gasket gray. So
What is it?
blown head gasket gray.
Blown head gasket gray. That's pretty
If you
cool.
pop the drain plug on a car with a blown head gasket, that's about
that's
the
a
color.
color.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Let's walk back to the back
sure,
in there. What we got going on back here?
A lot of stuff's going on back here. Yeah. So the bed is still kind of factory-ish. I shortened it up 3 inches. I just think it's in proportion now, the whole thing overall. But in here, I designed this cantilever suspension because if you look underneath the car or the truck, there's no shocks, there's nothing hanging down, there's no brackets. It's just a smooth. It's got a belly pan, smooth transition on everything. So everything is laid down in here. And I'm a very performance-oriented person, so it actually handles and works very well. Hard to explain why and how on everything in a few minutes here, but it just works good.
A lot of touches on this thing, little touches like these boots here and for the dry shaft tube cover.
Yeah.
Gas tank?
Yep, yeah, so that goes down. It shoots, this side of the frame rail is the gas tank. Over there is the electronics. So underneath the cab is everything, so there's nothing exposed or hanging out. Again, like I said, I just wanted it looks like it shouldn't work, but it does.
Sounds good. Will we see this on Wrenched?
No, I don't think you'll see this one on Wrench. This one took too long for TV time.
Believe it or not, we have two Riddler Award winners here in Cleveland this year. And right now we're standing in front of a 1963 Chevy station wagon. This was what? And I got Brady Randweiler.
Yes, sir.
Right? Where are you from, Brady?
We're from New Ulm, Minnesota. The car is owned by my father, Brad, my brother, Corey, and myself. We spent parts of 9.5 years building the car. There's north of 26,000 hours of the three of us involved in the car. There's over 335 one-off parts on the car, all of which we did except for about a dozen of them.
This is really nice. I remember seeing it up in Detroit there a couple years ago. It's a beauty. It's a beauty.
You know, we were fortunate enough to win the 2020 Riddler. There was an extremely strong group of cars there. And then COVID kind of hit.
Yeah.
We were in Chicago the next weekend and we're lucky enough to win the Legend Cup there. And the world slows down, and since that time we've just been realistically taking it to as many shows as we could, because you never know what tomorrow brings.
Sure.
We happened to do well in the 2020 Battle of the Builders for SEMA. We ended up the Custom of the Year last year for Good Guys, and we are the current ISCA Grand Champion points car from 2021.
And she is impressive. That's her nickname, right? Impressive.
You know, the car got that name as we were building it. Clients would come in, buy parts, and many people that left said, boy, that thing's going to be impressive. We were really looking for a play on the Super Sport logo initially, and impressive kind of fell into that.
That's a perfect name for it. Let's talk about this interior. You open up the door, and it's just absolutely gorgeous in there. Tell me about it.
You know, the details carry throughout the car. There's different contours that are cut into the wheel that carry into the taillights and carry into the center of the horn ring and the top of the shift knob. But actually the Speedo acrylic is cut with the same contour, and then the speedometer is recalibrated so the numbers come out on the pedals. Different things like that. The IDOT and the name impressive in the threshold is carried over into the speedometer needle. It's also Frenched in on the fenders and pulled into each seat. Anywhere that we could tastefully carry over things, we tried to. Sometimes you can get a little carried away and all of a sudden it becomes eclectic or an eyesore. The pedals are actually, the cut in them match the vents for the dash for the air conditioning.
They do. That's nice.
They also match the exhaust bezels that come through the bumper. And one little neat trick that my brother did with the pedals is he actually machined the rubber to come through those spacings, so you actually have a rubber foot pad, which is a little more difficult than it sounds cutting rubber on a CNC.
So this is a father-son deal then?
Yes, sir. My brother Corey, he can't be here this weekend, and our father Brad, the three of us collaborated on the car. And you know, when we initially started, we thought, oh, it'd be no problem turning it around in a year or two. And each year we got another education from the car, and you know, it took us parts of 9.5 years before we were ready to debut it. And there's over 2 years worth of work just in the paint and body work itself. If you see it painted, it's been cut and buffed and, you know, pushed to the edge of the capabilities of the materials.
Is that just black, gloss black?
It's actually the single stage DCC 9300 from PPG, and it's blended with clear.
It looks rich, it looks deep and everything.
Yes, sir.
What are you sporting under the hood?
That's actually a true cast iron 409. It's bored and stroke now to 509 cubic inch. It's running Hillborn fuel injection, but it's been highly modified, so really nobody can tell really what it is for sure. It was kind of, for us, kind of a proud moment this year when the new Riddler winner had won. The 509 is actually, that they have in there, is actually an aluminum version of the 409, just redone and to swing a big block crank. We have the same crank in here, except for the journals are cut down to swing.
How'd you vision this when you first started? Did you expect to be a Riddler winner or even compete for the Riddler?
When we first started, Before we ever even brought the car out of the weeds, that was the intention, to build a car to go to Detroit and try to compete. And each year as we'd go back to Detroit and try to educate ourselves of what was going on, we'd then follow a lot of those cars on to like SEMA, where you can get up close and personal. We've actually had a corporate booth or a business booth there for 15 years, so we can get in a little early and we can stay a little late. And my brother and I would go find as many Riddler contenders and Riddler winners and try to get up close and personal with each in particular area that we were working on the car at the time. And, you know, that it was always the goal, the time frame for us was what really threw us for a loop, because we thought we could accomplish it in a time that was nearly impossible. We did every aspect of the metal work we had done.
Wow. What I really thought was really a neat touch was the gas cap.
Yeah, the gas cap is something my father did on a Bridgeport mill that's probably older than this car. And it's actually a simple design, uses a linear actuator.
All on remote.
Yeah.
Look at that. Everything lines up with the other ones. Perfectly, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is 63, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The windows, were those one-piece windows?
No, it actually was a four-door when it started.
Oh, this was a four-door.
The picture of it's over on the other side. The only sheet metal that's original from the existing car when we started is basically the roof from the rib to the front of the rib. Otherwise, everything has been redone, redesigned. In the front end, the fenders are unitized into the body, which carry over into the floorboard, which carry into the engine compartment. So it's actually a 17-foot long car that you can't take apart. In the early 80s, my dad took around a original restored Impala with a 409, and he would win best paint for original restored, and he'd get a fender cover, and the custom car would get $2,000. And he always wanted to build a custom car. Well, that's kind of where we set our sights on Detroit and started educating ourselves with vehicles of that build. And you know, sometimes having your own blood, sweat, and tears in it is a priceless thing.
Sure.
That you really can't put money on.
Sure, especially working with your dad and your brother and everything. It's perfect.
Well, don't get us wrong. There's days where we probably wanted to kill each other.
Oh, sure. I understand that.
Sometimes the car doesn't do the things you want it to do.
Yeah.
And
sit back, go somewhere, sit back, come back and look at it again.
Maybe take a few weeks off.
Yeah.
It's a custom dyed color called Italian Oxblood.
Who picked that color?
I actually seen it on a motorcycle at SEMA on a black motorcycle, and it just really popped well with the accents of some chrome and black paint. And when we brought it home, we're like, boy, that really matches our red or our burgundy underneath pretty good to the drive line. And,
Yeah, it sure does.
you know, anywhere that you could hide a bolt, we did. If we had to use a bolt, my brother machined every one of them. You can see underneath the back here this belly pan. You know, belly pans are kind of a thing on cars, and we have the two emblems that match the dot of our eye again. The centers of them actually depress, and then the pan swings down out of the way, so you can see the detail work of everything that's done underneath it.
So when you win the Riddler Award, you get what, $10,000? Which is like a drop in the pan for all the money and all the work and the labor you have into this.
You don't do that to win $10,000. I mean, you think about it, the family of us four and our one employee when we went to Detroit, we have nearly that invested in what we're paying labor, what we're paying in hotel rooms. So the $10,000 is not it. The trophy and the prestige of the award is what you really are out to do.
It's a beauty. It's a beauty. Ray, thank you very much. What a beautiful car. Thank you
Been
for
a pleasure.
the interview. with me today here at Cleveland IX Center at the Piston Powered Show, I have Bruce Harvey, and Bruce is the guy who built the 2022 Riddler Award winner. And we're standing in front of it now. I'm getting goosebumps up my.
I got goosebumps
Bruce, this
right
thing,
now.
This thing
It's
is
awesome.
Awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. To finally get to that point and finish the car, I mean, it's just amazing, you know, I mean, and it doesn't go away, you know, you're on this natural high, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this was fun. It took us 2.5 years to build, and I loved every minute of it. The owner of the car that spent, you know, the money to build this, he just let us run, and that's what we did. We flowed the car from front to back, you know, making sure that everything that we did to the car was never done before. And that's what we do. We're outside the box, you know, 110%. So, and we got a team of guys that work together, and they got their angles, and I'm the painter and designer, so I have my angle, and this is what we ended up with, you know, one of a kind, and there's just a ton of stuff that's been done to it that's never been done before.
How do you start something like this? Do you have it drawn out, or what? You just...
No, you kind of go with the obvious, and it's like a big puzzle, and that's the way it works the best. If I did a rendering before we started, it would look nothing like it in the end, because you get ideas off ideas. But
let's start up here in the front here. This thing is this thing. I was telling you, Bruce, we were up in Detroit looking at this, and I stood in front of this thing for 20 minutes, and I said I could stand here another hour looking at this. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's probably the most beautiful car I've ever seen in my life.
That's great to hear, especially with you know, coming from you. But now this thing, yeah, the front of the car, that's the business end, and there's a lot going on. Twin turbos, where all the lines are ran inside the frame and they come out by the motor. You know, every detail was to the max. It's got hydro shocks on it, which means it's got hydraulics with coilovers on a cantilever setup, and that's why you see the shocks coming forward. You know, which is really a cool effect, and of course it's going to handle great. But and you never see twin turbos down low like that. And when you mount them that low, I mean, there's a lot of issues you got to deal with. You had to put an extra oil pump and everything else just to get the oil back out, because it's at the lowest point, and getting through all that stuff was a little difficult. But we managed to work it all out, and the thing runs great.
So you got a, what, 509 Chevy engine in it?
Yeah, it's a 509. It's based off the 409W head block, and it's actually an aftermarket all aluminum block. And it's got a 6-speed transmission behind it and twin turbocharged. You know, we got it detuned right now. You can drive it anywhere, and you still got like 850 horse.
Only 850 horse. It's just beautiful. So tell me, you're the painter then, right?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about the paint on it then.
Well, the paint, it's called Wineberry. The trick with Wineberry is it's just a tint, okay? The underbase is under it is what gives it the flop, where it looks bright, looks dark, and it flips, it looks 5 different colors, you know? So I have a lot of different underbases, and of course there's airbrushing with the Chevy bow ties through it that kind of fade in and out.
That's a nice touch,
Yep.
yeah, that's a very nice touch.
Each one of those bow ties was airbrushed four different times.
Wow.
And there's like 500 of them, you know, kind of like...
There's 500 of them.
Yeah, so that took a little while. But, and then there's airbrushing through the paint, just little details. And the underside, we did the same thing. You know, we even outlined all the little, the square rod that kind of like, is beveled on the bottom of the running boards that matches the floor, and then it goes throughout the rest of the car.
This is fascinating. Who owns this?
Rick Bird.
And he's from where?
Mid-State, Pennsylvania, Bellefonte. Yeah, super nice guy. Like I said, he let us run with it. And,
Sure did. We ran.
yeah, I mean, I feel blessed, you know, having him walk in the door, because he just let us run with it, and he loved everything we did.
And where's your speed shop at?
In Pittsburgh. Yep.
It's from my outside of Pittsburgh.
Okay, yeah, we're like 10 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. Shaler.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Tell me about the interior. That's another.
Yes. Well, we tried to bring the paint inside, you know, and we had to build kind of a tall console, because there's all kinds of stuff going inside there. You know, under the armrest there, we have tanks. We have the methanol tank, and we also got the tank for the hydro shocks, and then all the wiring, fuel lines, all that stuff run through the center of the car. You know, we actually made tubes run through there, so the fuel lines could run through tubes, and if you ever did have a leak, it'd leak outside the car. You know?
This is beautiful. So this car started out to be what, $300 piece of junk?
Yes. I don't know if you looked at the book at all, but You know what, that didn't bother me though, because I knew we weren't going to use a whole lot of it. You know, we ended up fabricating, the top of the roof and sides, and we made the running boards and modified the fenders. Yeah, it was just, we just wanted the coupe part of it, and that's all we needed.
You got it too. I'll tell you, this is beautiful. How about the designs on the fender? Who thought of that?
Yeah, that would be me. Yeah, I wanted something that wasn't going to cover the back of the tire, but I wanted a full fender car, and then that's why we got the cutouts, and the cutouts match the little design we did in the body molding there too.
Oh, okay.
And then that kind of matches the design on the underside also. Yep. And just like the square rod we welded on the dash, that kind of flows into the motor compartment. So, like I said, no matter what we did, we tried to make it run through the car. All the bolts are countersunk. Every nut and bolt on the fenders and underneath the car, they're all countersunk with the fancy washers and all 8-point bolts.
Gas tank in the trunk there?
Yeah, well, yeah, there's the gas fill up there, but you can see right behind the 2 coilovers, that flat thing you see right there, right behind the rear end, that's the gas tank. So of course the bottom of the gas tank matches everything too.
Those are definitely some meaty rear tires on this, huh?
Oh yeah, it's aggressive.
How big are they?
They're like 22 inches wide, I mean, I know the tread width's like 18, but 33 tall. So
33 tall, yeah. This thing's a killer, and I don't know how you're going to get anything nicer than this. When I saw it in Detroit, I saw this one before I saw the other Elite 8, and I said, no way is anything going to beat this. No way.
Well, Rick Bird, the owner, he had approached me and he said he wanted to build a grade 8, and then after like 6 months I told him, I said, we're going to get you a Riddler. I said, I'm going to work 7 days a week for the next 2.5 years, and we're going to go to Detroit. I said, and I want to just knock their socks off.
And you did.
And we did.
Yeah. Sure did. You knocked my socks off, and all this cool crew I had with me that day. And we were fascinated by this thing.
Thank you.
I was just glad to see it come to Cleveland here so we can get it on our show.
Oh, good. That's awesome. But I'm glad to be here. We're going to put this thing on tour and enjoy it and build up our reputation.
So what next?
Well, we'll take a little break. I think we're going to go to Atlantic City next, which is in August, and then next year will be the big year again. I'm going to hit Chicago and go for the Legend.
Build?
Oh, the next build. Well, we're actually building a car right now for Detroit next year. But I can't tell you what it is.
Here's the deal. Tell me about the Riddler. A lot of people don't understand about the Riddler. What you can do and what you can't do.
Yes, with the Riddler, it can't be shown. It's got to be unveiled at the show. There's no social media or anything. Actually, this year, there was 2 cars that got disqualified because they were on social media.
Yeah, I was talking to one fellow that was on social media. I said, how come you're not in Elite 8? It was really nice. And he said it got out on social media.
Yeah, there was the 2 cars that got kicked off. They were like on the top of the list. And they were nice. Yeah. So I felt bad.
And in order to get it here, you just don't push it in here, right? You have to drive it, right?
Yep. We drove it in, and we put it on social media now that, it dries, because a lot of people think, oh, yeah, there's probably no oil in the motor, but you have to drive it. You have to drive it.
When I got home. Yeah. So it has to go in reverse, it has to be able to go right, left, it has to do everything,
Yep,
right?
and they check the turn signals, headlights, make sure everything works.
And the brakes?
And brakes,
and
too.
How didn't you scratch those chrome?
Well, we put felt pads on the pads, which make it a little bit scary when you go to stop, but we have another set of rotors for when we finally start touring it and going to good guy shows and outdoor shows.
Yeah. Looks good.
SEMA.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
What a beautiful car. What a beautiful car.
What did we tell you? A show that's unstoppable, unbelievable is at the Piston Power at the IX Center. We got you the Riddler Award winner. And what else did we get?
Two of them.
Two of them.
The
We got
2020 Riddler Award winner and the 2022 Riddler Award. That's tough to say. Riddler Award winner.
some of these cars are incredible, and it's nice because we usually hang around the Mahoning Valley area, and we're starting to see a lot of the same cars. There's some new builds, but up here it's all in. It's fair game. We've seen all this new stuff that we haven't seen before.
There's a little bit of everything up here. When you first come in, there's a big plane outside.
Yeah.
And then we saw boats here. There are a lot of motorcycles here.
Yeah.
Boat engines and just
Everything.
a little bit of
There's even a
everything.
swap meet here. So
Yeah.
you want to come up next year. Make sure you plan on coming up next year for this show if you didn't get up here this year.
I feel like I'm in car heaven up here. You know that?
Oh, we've been here for 6 hours now.
What a
I'm
way
tired.
to start the season. Huh?
Yeah,
I love it.
Yep.
I
So
love it.
for Rick Herrera, I'm Greg Roten.
We'll see you down the road.